world, I'm Miyah Sundermeyer, and I would like to welcome you to the latest episode of my blog series. So far, I've been able to share my own experiences with you guys on what it's like for me to live with Asperger syndrome. Other times, I will give my 2 cents on what's going on with autism in the media. A third area that I like to do is give tips and advice to individuals who are on the spectrum, as well as anybody who's inside the autism community. And a fourth thing that I like to do is cover topics that I'm passionate about that have absolutely nothing to do with autism. And in this video blog, what I am going to do is talk about my own experiences of making friends with people who thought they had Asperger syndrome. But first, what I would like to do is give you guys some other resources. So I would recommend that you would try TED, and they have lots of educational talks on there about autism, whether they be self-advocates or people with PhDs that know what they're talking about, or whether, again, it's Dr. Temple Grandin. And a second source that I'd recommend to you guys is Amethyst Shaber, and she's just really, really smart, and she has lots of advice on some of the tics behind autism, and I really need to start watching her stuff and posting, but we're subscribed to each other's channels, and I'm really excited about that. So, anyway, what I wanted to do again was talk to you about my own experiences of what it's like to try to connect with other people who get misdiagnosed with Asperger syndrome. So, about 10 years ago, I had joined an autism support group for young adults through an autism center right here in Atlanta, and I ended up going to go meet a guy that I had looked at dating and vice versa. And it was while I was waiting for him that this other young girl walked up, and I thought that she was one of the college students at Emory University, because there were mentors that were volunteering to be buddies for the clients at the Autism Center. And when I talked to her, I found out that she had just gotten a diagnosis with Asperger's. So, long story short, I found out that our personalities were very similar. We were really hyper and outgoing and unique, and we both lived with our aunts. So, I thought, why not? This girl is just like me. So, we also started hanging out, and she started hanging out with my other friends. But not long after that, she ended up going down to a vocational school in South Georgia, and that's where they have all kinds of vocational training, and they have job training, and they teach them life skills, and it's supposed to look just like a major university, and it's put on by the funds of the vocational rehabilitation. And it was while she was down there that she had gotten a re-diagnosis, and she came up with a completely different attitude, and she started treating the Asperger community differently. Well, little did I know that she had gotten a new diagnosis and she could get into the military. And she had this attitude with me that she didn't think people like myself could get into the military because we had Asperger syndrome. And so that often happens. I find that when somebody is diagnosed, they're my best friend. They'll do everything with me. They'll go to the movies. They'll be willing to talk on the phone. They'll be willing to sleep over and down that similar line. But it's when they get re-diagnosed with something else that they're suddenly more important, and that anybody inside the Asperger community is lesser of a person because they can do things that we absolutely can't. And it's absolutely really nerve-wracking because there are lots of people with Asperger syndrome like myself that struggle day in and day out to try to connect with people. I mean, we have trouble communicating. We have trouble finding the same interests that other people do. And a lot of people in our society don't like it that we go into all kinds of details. They don't like it that we have limited interests. They think we're weird. They don't like it that we don't read social cues. They think that we do things on purpose. So, whenever somebody like that gets misdiagnosed and re-diagnosed, it's even harder because you would think that they would still love us no matter what, but it's like they seem to forget. So, anyway, before I close down, I would like to hear your stories. How many of you have met individuals who have been misdiagnosed with Asperger syndrome and they were your best friend 1 minute and they were like your family, and then when they didn't have that diagnosis anymore, how did they affect you and how did their behavior change? I would love to hear your stories and I would love to hear what you have to say. Until next time, I'm Miyah Sundermeyer and I'm signing off now.